So I forgot to record the first meeting of this lab course on Tuesday. So I've decided to record this because, as promised, I said that I would record the video of the first class where I discuss the syllabus and so on. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So this is for, of course, the General Chemistry 1 lab. And there are three sections of that lab I'm teaching today. So therefore, if you belong to section 1, 2, or 40, then this is the syllabus for that course. So what I plan to do right now is to go through the syllabus so that we're all on the same page as to what you should expect from this course. And then I'm going to show you certain features of Canvas that I'll be using throughout this course. Okay, so as you can see here on the very first page, some general information about this course, the course title, the course number of credit hours associated with this course, the fact that I'm the instructor. Of course, the course location would basically be online, so therefore we won't be meeting in a physical class, and there are no set dates for meeting per se. Where my office is located on the Ocala campus is Building 2, room 220I. I'm also located at the Citrus campus, but I don't think that's very relevant in this particular environment. These are my office hours, which I think I need to change, so I'm going to make that modification shortly. My telephone extension, which I'm hardly using nowadays because I'm at home more often than not, and my regular college email address is provided as well. And below that, you see a statement concerning emergency closure. In case that the campus or the college has to close for some unforeseen circumstances like natural disasters and so on. There are some phone numbers here for you to call, as well as the college's website. You can consult that. Usually what they do is post information about, what will be happening under those circumstances. I require my students to have a Skype account, and this facilitates communication between me and you guys on an individual basis. So for my office hours for this course, I will be basically communicating with you guys via Skype. So I'll basically be sitting in front of my computer, and if you have a question you need to ask, you can either text me or you can video chat me, whichever way you prefer. And there is a link here which you use to create your account. And as soon as you create your account, make sure that you text me a message saying that, well, basically stating your name and the course number. My Skype address is provided here, pete.nicely. Excuse me, so make sure you do that as soon as possible. Okay, so what follows next is basically some rules concerning the how you conduct yourself safely in the lab. And as stated here, safety is the number one priority in this lab. Now, of course, we're not working in a physical lab, so therefore, much of what we'll be doing here or looking at here in terms of safety, we won't be actually putting into practice for this course, obviously. However, it is my belief that you need to know these safety rules because I don't know what your future entails, but if it entails a science career, then you will be working in a lab, and therefore you need to be familiar with all these rules that are associated with working in a lab. So that's the reason why I'm going through this, because these would be the rules that would be enforced if we were actually working in a physical lab. So as stated here, normally appropriate dress must be worn to the lab, and you would not be allowed to stay in the lab if you're not appropriately dressed. And we'll say more about that down below. So here are some rules that are listed right here. No one may work in the lab unless an instructor is present. Eye protection will be worn at all times in the lab. Make sure that you remove your contact lens before coming to the lab. Clothing must cover you from your neck to your knees, so no bare midriffs, shorts, or miniskirts. Shoes must cover your entire feet, so no sandals and flip-flops. Shoulders must be covered. You must have short or long sleeve, but no loose sleeves. Long hair must be tied back. Hats must be removed. All books, purses, and other personal items must be stored out of the way so that they do not interfere with the safe conductance of the lab. So do not place those items on the floor where somebody can trip over them. Handle all chemicals, glassware, burners, and other lab equipment appropriately and carefully. Food and drink may not be brought into or consumed in the lab. No gum or tobacco or cosmetic applications. Read all chemical labels on the containers 3 times before you pick it up while you have it in your hand as you're dispensing and when you put it back down. Many mishaps can be avoided this way. Many chemical names are formulas that sound and look alike, so don't assume anything. So therefore, you might have an experiment which calls for copper 2 chloride in one part and copper 1 chloride in another part. As you can see, the name sounds a bit similar with one minor difference. So therefore, it's very important that you read the labels before you use any particular reagent or chemical. And even if you're using the same chemical, again, you have to be careful because, for example, you might have the chemical in a solid form, for example, copper 2 sulfate, and then in a latter part of the experiment, you might have that same chemical in an aqueous solution, copper 2 sulfate aqueous solution. So, you need to read these labels before you use these substances so that no errors will be made. Each student is responsible for cleaning up any spills or broken items. Each student is responsible for cleaning all used items and returning them to their appropriate place. Each student is responsible for replacing all caps and making sure that the chemicals do not become contaminated. Droppers from solution should never touch anything but the solution inside the bottle. Do not insert droppers into your test tube or other containers. This will contaminate the solution. Each student is responsible for making sure that the sinks are free of debris and that the work area is clean before leaving. And well, this wouldn't apply here, but it says that if there are repeated violations of this policy, all students at a particular table will have their points deducted from their lab. So that's what I would do in a normal, physical lab course. Common sense goes a long way. Any student who jeopardizes the safety of anyone in the lab will be asked to leave and may be withdrawn. And then finally it says you are individually held fully responsible for knowing and following all the safety rules as well as written and verbal instructions given by yours truly. Failure to adhere to the rules and policies will jeopardize your status in this lab. So these are basically rules that are in place if we were actually doing a physical lab. So I'm a stickler for adhering to these rules. I'm going to say more about these rules later on, but before we do that, let me talk about the attendance policy. So, of course, you know that this course will be entirely online, and the exercises that you'll be conducting in this particular course will be of two types. Will either be simulations or will be lab assignments that would normally be done in the physical lab, but the only difference is that you would not generate the data. The data will be given to you, and based on the experiment procedure and other information, you are expected to complete the rest of the exercise. In other words, do your appropriate calculations to find out whatever the experiment is about. Also, make sure you do the pre-lab and post-lab questions, all right? So that's basically what you'll be doing in this course. And therefore, as stated here, because this course is totally online, some of the information, especially what I went through before in terms of the rules, will not apply. But of course, as I said before, I thought it was important for you to be exposed to these rules so that you know how to conduct yourself in a lab setting in your future endeavors. Um, Let me skip some stuff that doesn't apply, but I included it as I said before because this is what I would normally do. So I'm going to skip this statement about 100% attendance and tardiness. The only thing in regards to tardiness, of course, is that you have to submit your work by the given deadline. All right. So the deadlines, of course, will be provided with the different exercises. Let me just say here, and I think I said so with the original group I met with on Tuesday. I said that I plan to basically provide the assignment on Monday of every week and with the deadline of Friday of that very week for you to submit your assignments. All right. So that's basically the plan for this semester. I'm going to provide in Canvas the assignment on the Monday of every week, and your responsibility is to complete it by the Friday of that week. All right. Okay. So let me skip all of this here because again, all of this applies to a physical lab setting. Here it talks about what you need to bring to the lab. Of course, safety goggles will not apply. The handles will be provided, as I said before, and it is your responsibility to complete it. So a lot of what is said here wouldn't apply. I wouldn't expect you to bring a copy to campus, whatever. Everything will be done online. Let me see here. In terms of decorum, of course, cellular telephones going off would not apply in our setting. The only thing I can think of in terms of decorum that I need to talk about is the fact that if you're sending anything to me, make sure it's something appropriate to the class. So anything inappropriate will not be accepted. I'm thinking of, I'm quite sure most of you know how that this is not accepted, but you know, sexual explicit material, etc., um, would not be accepted, and therefore you can find yourself in trouble in regards to that. So I just thought I should make that because that's really the only issue I can think of in terms of students' conduct and decorum in this particular type of setting. Okay, let me continue here. This talks about reading the material um, before coming to the lab. Again, this wouldn't apply with us, but of course, I would expect you to read the material before you can complete it, and make sure that your lab reports are completed um, legibly with grammatically correct sentences. Make sure that it's legible, especially because I've had some issues with students submitting stuff where the handwriting is either poor or the print is too fine. Some students try to fit 4 pages of their lab report onto one PDF document, and therefore the handwriting or the print is so fine I cannot read it. All right, so make sure that each of your pages of your handout is basically copied onto one page of your document that you're submitting to me. All right. As stated here, copied work will be penalized. Let me see here. What else? What else? Oh, and very important. I'm a stickler. For those of you who have had me before, I don't know how many of you have had me before, but I'm a stickler for things like your calculation setups, and make sure that you round off your final answers to the correct number of significant figures or decimal points, and also units should be a part of the whole process, right? So all these things should be included when you're doing your calculations. All right. Okay. Let's continue here. Of course, there may be points deducted for submission of late lab assignments, so make sure everything is turned in on time. And the criteria that I have listed here, of course, again, a lot of these won't apply. I would say that the only thing that would apply in this setting would be this statement here about accuracy in calculations and use of critical thinking skills as documented by your lab report. So make sure that that is well done so that you can get full credit for your work. And then below that you see the letter grade system established by the college. So this is basically how your grades will be calculated. And if you think that I've made an error in grading, an assignment, whatever, make sure that you see me as soon as possible about it so that we can discuss it. A statement here about withdrawal. As I always say, I don't want anybody to withdraw from this course, but I understand that life happens, and therefore you may find it necessary to withdraw from the course. If you do so, you need to do so properly. You need to fill out the appropriate forms. Because in the past, unfortunately, I've had to give students the F grade simply because they stopped coming to class, right? They did not officially withdraw from the course. And when I made inquiries about it, I was told that basically I have to give them the grade based on what they have accomplished so far in the course. And in all the cases that have come across my desk when it comes to that, it was an F grade that I have to submit. And I don't like doing that. So please, 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 if you have to withdraw, as I said before, I hope you don't have to, but if you do have to, make sure that you complete the necessary forms, some of which has to be signed by yours truly. And then after that, you see some statements about important dates. So the next important date would be the MLK birthday, which is actually this upcoming Monday. All right. So the college will be closed on that day. And of course, there's spring break, which is down in March. All right. So make a note of those dates so that you are aware of when the college will be closed. It states here that the college reserves a right to evaluate individual cases of non-attendance. Students should be alerted to the fact that 1, withdrawals do not count in the CFGPA and may not be viewed favorably at the university level or for financial aid. 2, a withdrawal counts as an attempt under the forgiveness/withdrawal policy and the course repeat policy. 3, there are increased costs to take the course on a third attempt. Excuse me. And 4, there may be a reason why a withdrawal request may be denied. And for further information, you may see the college's withdrawal procedure. And then that is followed by a statement concerning privacy rights. So due to federal laws concerning the privacy of students' records, you can rest assured that your grades or other information will not be shared or discussed with anyone but the student, right? That's by federal law, all right? Now, there's an exception to that, and that is one, if you give me permission to share it with other individuals, or two, if you are a minor. So I'm thinking of the dual enrolled students who more than likely would be underage, and therefore their parents in that instance would have a right to the information concerning students' grades and so on. Apart from those two exceptions, I'm obligated by federal law not to share that information. So you can rest assured that that information will not be shared unless we're talking about the two exceptions I mentioned. All right. Academic integrity. So we all know that cheating and plagiarism is wrong and will not be tolerated and may result in a special grade that would be recorded in your transcript, which is called FF. And basically what that grade is saying is that you have failed the course because you have violated the college's code of student conduct with respect to plagiarism and cheating. Now, that grade can be replaced by a grade that you will eventually earn if you attend a seminar known as the Academic Integrity Seminar. It's a 2-hour seminar, and there's a charge for this seminar, which I'm not, to be perfectly honest, sure what that charge is. But basically, the way this works is that you attend that seminar, and upon completion of that seminar, then your grade will be replaced by the grade that you actually earn. All right? So that's basically how that works. Now, if you don't attend the seminar, then that grade remains permanently on your transcript. All right? And as I said before, it's denoting that you have failed the course because of the college's rules concerning academic integrity. Okay, next thing we need to talk about, disability services for students with disabilities. So if you're such a student with a disability of any kind or serious medical condition or learning or physical disorder, then you need to contact the Office of Disability Services, right? Now, this office was formerly called Access Services. And basically the way this works is that you go there, you present whatever evidence of your disability to the good folks over there, and then they will send me a document indicating the type of accommodation that needs to be made, all right? Now, the person who was in charge, her name was or is Victoria Collet, but I've been informed, I think last week, that she's not with us anymore. And in fact, the last I heard, they were actually searching for her replacement. So you won't be able to contact her, but my understanding is that that office is still staffed, so therefore you can call over there and make the arrangements, all right? So please do that as soon as possible. You cannot just come to me and tell me that you have a disability. You have to go through the proper channels, and this is the way you go about doing that. Okay, a statement of equal access, equal opportunity. The College of Central Florida does not discriminate against any person on the basis of race, color, ethnicity, religion, gender, age, marital status, national origin, genetic information, or disability status in its programs, activities, and employments. And if you have any further questions concerning the non-discrimination policies, please contact Carol W. Smith. She is the Equity Office, and her information, her contact information is provided. I mentioned classroom decorum before, so I won't go through it again. And then let me get into what I would consider to be a very worthwhile investment that the college has made for the betterment of the students. And this is called the CF Student Assistance Program. It's basically a counseling program for those of you who may have issues affecting you in your school, work, or home lives. And basically, the way this works is that you would call a toll-free number, which is provided down here. This toll-free number right here. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, I'm trying to highlight it. Okay, so that's a toll-free number that you need to call. And basically, the way this works is that you call that toll-free number. Now, if you call that toll-free number Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5 p.m., that will put you in touch with a therapist. And that therapist will be working for a health management organization known as Baycare Life Management. All right? So when you get in touch with that therapist, then he or she will be able to help you at that point in time. Now, if you call outside of that time frame, then what will happen is that a therapist will be paged. He or she will therefore respond promptly to the page and again will be able to help you at that point. All right. So, I would strongly recommend that you take advantage of it if you need it. All right. Because we all have issues, especially what's going on now with the pandemic and other things going on around us. I'm quite sure we're feeling the strain and the stress affecting us, and therefore this would be a worthy resource, a good resource for you guys to use so that you can cope with whatever issues you're dealing with. Okay, withdrawal. I think I made a comment about that, so let me move from that. Right to change the syllabus. Basically, what this is saying is that I may have to change some components of the syllabus, and I'll try to be fair about such changes, and I'll try to give you a heads up about that. Let me scroll down here. Okay, so the last page here basically is a form that you need to complete. Basically, by completing it and signing it and dating it, you're saying that you have read the syllabus and that you understood all the rules and what you need to do to pass this course. All right, so that's basically that. Okay, so with that out of the way, the only other thing I need to talk about is the canvas, right? The parts of the canvas that we'll be using. So what I'm going to do here, go here and go to the home page for one of the sections. So this is the home page here for section 2 of this lab course. And pretty much most of what we'll be using in this canvas shell is on the file. So if you click on files, you see that I have several folders here. And basically, as far as the handouts are concerned, they'll be located in this folder. I need to get rid of this. In fact, let me delete this now. That's from a previous course. The syllabus is located here. All right. And let me see here. I've just included the textbook for the lecture companion course, just in case you need to refer to it. And so that's this right here, the OpenStax text. The PowerPoints for my General Chemistry 1 lecture are listed is in this folder here. I don't know if you'll find it helpful. You may find it helpful for this course. I mentioned the syllabus and also the tables. Now the tables here is basically, the tables folder contains a list of data information that you'll need, fundamental constants, such as molar gas constant and Avogadro's number and electronic charge. So that's what is present in the fundamental constants. And then under tables chemistry, basically you have the periodic tables, you have list of common ions. Let me just show you what it looks like. If you have had me before in lecture, you'll be familiar with this, but for the rest of you, this is what it looks like, right? You have periodic tables, you have the atomic masses of the elements. So these are all elements arranged in alphabetical order. This is a list of common ions, another list of common ions, a third list of common ions. So, useful conversion factors and relationships, etc., etc. So you may find, the information in this particular document useful. Thermodynamic data, this is for later on. This is when we get to chapter 6 in the lecture, for those of you who are enrolled in my lecture. Otherwise, you may find it important to use in the lab as well, all right? And that's basically, one more thing I need to mention before I forget. So, modules. This is where I basically post my videos. Now, there's one video that I've posted already, which everybody needs to watch. Come on. Which everybody needs to watch, and that is the safety video. We went through some safety rules before, but the safety video is more comprehensive in terms of the different rules. So let me scroll all the way down to here. So here it says safety video. You click on this and the video will pop up. Make sure you watch that video because that video is basically what you need to watch in order to do the safety quiz. And I think most of you would have at least downloaded it, but just in case you haven't, it's located under files under the lab handout. So let me go back to that folder. So the lab handout folder is here, and the safety video is, I'm sorry, the safety quiz is right here. So it's published. You can go there and download it and print it. And it's due this Friday. In fact, let me change the, hold on, let me, oh, I can't change it here. But it's due this Friday. I think I've posted the due date under the assignments. And speaking of assignments, let me just go here. Assignments is where I'm going to post the, well, for one, the, let me see here, the simulations, the Labster simulations, all right? So I see here that, oh, shoot, it's not posted. So let me do that now. Or I'll do it as soon as I finish this video. But this is where the simulations will be present. So you can click on it and make sure you do that. Now, this would have been due by Friday, but I think I'm going to extend the deadline for you guys since I thought I'd actually published this, but apparently I didn't. Okay, so make sure you do that. Basically, what I'll be publishing would be Labster demo and lab safety, and I think that's it. All right. Okay. I think that's basically all there is to discuss concerning the syllabus and the Canvas system. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me via email or Canvas. Those are the two best ways of contacting me. If you have any questions concerning the syllabus or, you know, the Canvas, whatever. All right. Okay, so that's basically it. Hope you'll enjoy the rest of this course, and take care.